Sunlight poured through the stained glass windows of St. Michael's Church, casting colorful patterns on the polished marble floor. The pews were filled with friends, family, and well-wishers, all dressed in their finest attire. Today was supposed to be the happiest day of Emily Carter's life. She adjusted the bouquet of lilies in her hands, her heart fluttering with excitement. Every detail had been perfect: her dress, the flowers, the music. But as the organ hummed and the bridal march began, she noticed something strange. The groom was nowhere to be seen. Emily's father leaned in, whispering, "Where is Daniel?" Her smile faltered. The best man looked nervous, glancing toward the entrance. Murmurs started spreading through the guests. Daniel was late, but this wasn't just a few minutes behind schedule. He was missing entirely. Minutes felt like hours. Emily's heart pounded in her chest as panic began to creep in. She tried calling his phone, but it went straight to voicemail. No messages, no explanation, just silence. Then, as whispers turned into concerned chatter, Emily noticed a folded envelope on the altar. Her name was written in Daniel's familiar handwriting. Hands trembling, she opened it. "Emily," it began, "I can't do this today. There are things you don't know about me, truths I've hidden, and I need to figure them out before we say I do. I'm so sorry. I love you, but I cannot marry you under these circumstances." The words blurred before her eyes. Guests began to murmur louder, some exchanging shocked glances. Emily's world seemed to collapse in that moment. The man she loved, the life she imagined, had vanished, not just physically, but emotionally, leaving her with nothing but questions, heartbreak, and this mysterious letter. As she stood frozen at the altar, the organist's music faltered, the air thick with tension. What had Daniel discovered? Why had he disappeared? And was this the end of their story, or the beginning of a shocking revelation that would change everything? One thing was certain. Emily knew she couldn't stay at the altar waiting for answers. She had to find him, to uncover the truth behind the groom who vanished on their wedding day. Little did she know, the mystery of Daniel's disappearance was far more complicated and far darker than she could have imagined. The church doors closed behind her with a soft thud, and Emily stepped out into the brisk morning air. The guests were murmuring, some shaking their heads, others trying to console her. But Emily's mind was elsewhere, on Daniel, the letter, and the sudden void he had left in her life. Her first instinct was to find him. She had to know why he had run, why he had abandoned her at the altar. Every step she took toward the parking lot, her phone buzzed with missed calls and messages, all from anxious relatives and friends, but none from Daniel. She decided to start where they had shared their happiest moments, the little coffee shop where they met, the riverside park where they had picnicked, and the bookstore where they had spent rainy afternoons. Each place, she hoped, would hold a clue, a trace of him. At the coffee shop, the barista shook her head. "Haven't seen him all morning. Are you okay?" Emily's hands trembled. I need to find him, please, anything. He has to be here somewhere." Nothing. At the park, the swings swayed in the wind. Leaves rustled, but there was no sign of Daniel. She found his favorite bench empty. Her heart ached, the anxiety twisting into fear. Then, at the bookstore, she spotted something that made her breath catch. A folded envelope tucked between the pages of a novel. It wasn't addressed to her, but it was written in Daniel's handwriting. Her fingers shook as she opened it. "Emily, I never wanted to hurt you. There's something I must do before we can ever be together. Trust me, I will come back. But first, I need to face the truth I've been running from." A surge of emotions hit her. Relief, confusion, anger, and love all tangled together. He hadn't abandoned her out of cruelty. He had been running from something he couldn't share, yet something that threatened the life they were building. Emily's resolve hardened. She wouldn't wait passively. She had to follow every lead, chase every shadow, and uncover the secrets Daniel was hiding, even if it meant walking into danger she didn't yet understand. As the sun began to set, Emily found herself at the edge of the city, outside a small, dimly lit apartment building. The lights inside flickered faintly. Her heart raced. Could Daniel be here? Or was this just another dead end in a trail that seemed to lead nowhere? She stepped forward, her hand hovering over the doorbell. The weight of unanswered questions pressed down on her, but determination fueled her courage. She had to know the truth, and whatever awaited inside, she would face it, alone if she had to, but she would not stop until Daniel's secrets were revealed. Little did Emily know, the answers she sought would not only uncover Daniel's past, but would unravel secrets about her own life. Secrets that could change everything she thought she knew about love, trust, and destiny. Emily's fingers lingered on the cold metal of the doorbell, her pulse racing. A soft click echoed inside, followed by the faint sound of shuffling feet. The door opened slowly, revealing Daniel, disheveled, pale, and visibly tense. His eyes widened when he saw her. "Emily, I didn't want you to come here," he said, his voice a strained whisper. "I had to," she replied firmly, stepping inside. "You left me at the altar, Daniel. I need to know why. No more hiding." He sighed, running a hand through his messy hair. The apartment smelled faintly of coffee and old paper, a reminder of the countless nights he had spent alone, thinking, avoiding, and hiding his fears. I've been trying to protect you," he admitted, finally meeting her gaze. "There's something I discovered about myself, about my family, something I didn't want to drag you into on our wedding day." Emily's heart ached. "You could have told me. I love you, Daniel. Whatever it is, we can face it together." He hesitated, then led her to the small living room. On the coffee table lay a stack of folders and documents, neatly arranged but ominous in their presence. "It's my father," he began. He's not who I thought he was. There are things in his past, illegal things, dangerous things, that could ruin everything we have. I needed to make sure none of it would put you in danger." Emily's eyes widened as she looked at the papers. Financial records, photographs, even letters, evidence of a life Daniel had only recently uncovered. Her hand trembled as she reached for one of the folders. "This is why you disappeared," she whispered. "You were scared for us." Daniel nodded, swallowing hard. "I couldn't face the wedding knowing that you could be pulled into a storm I wasn't ready to confront. I thought, if I stayed away, I could protect you." Emily took a step closer, placing a hand on his cheek. "You don't have to do this alone. Whatever your father did, whatever danger there is, we face it together. That's what love is." A brief smile flickered across his face, a mixture of relief and lingering fear. "I wanted to tell you, I wanted to marry you, Emily. I still do. But first, we have to navigate this together." Before they could speak further, a soft knock echoed from the door. Both froze. Daniel's eyes darted toward the entrance and Emily's heart skipped a beat. "Who?" she began, but Daniel held up a hand, signaling her to stay back. Slowly, he approached the door, peering through the peephole. Outside stood a tall man in a dark coat, his expression unreadable, a small envelope clutched in his hand. Emily's stomach dropped. "Daniel, who is that?" Daniel's jaw tightened. "Someone who knows too much, someone who might not leave us alone until every secret is exposed." The envelope slid under the door with a soft thud. Emily bent down to pick it up, hands shaking. The words on the outside made her blood run cold. "If you want to stay safe, meet me tonight at the old pier. Alone." Daniel's eyes met hers, and for the first time that day, both fear and determination mirrored in each other's gaze. "We can't ignore this. Whatever this is, it's tied to my father, and now it's tied to us." Emily swallowed hard, gripping his hand. "Then we go together. No more running, no more secrets. We face it all side by side." The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the city. Little did they know, the night would reveal truths darker than they had ever imagined, and the choices they made now could change everything forever. The old pier creaked under their footsteps as Emily and Daniel approached, the waves below slapping rhythmically against the wooden posts. Fog rolled in from the river, cloaking the scene in a ghostly haze. Every instinct told them to turn back, but determination pushed them forward. A shadow emerged at the far end, a tall figure waiting patiently. The man in the dark coat from the envelope's message. His eyes glinted with an unreadable mix of authority and malice. "You came," he said, voice smooth but commanding. "I wasn't sure you'd have the courage." Daniel stepped in front of Emily protectively. "Who are you? What do you want from us?" The man tipped his head slightly. "Names aren't important. What matters is the truth you've been avoiding. Daniel, your father's dealings have consequences. And Emily, you are now entangled in them whether you like it or not." Emily's breath caught. "Consequences? What do you mean?" The man produced a small folder from his coat. Sliding it across the pier toward them, he let the papers flutter open in the night breeze. Photographs, documents and notes spilled out, evidence linking Daniel's father to illegal activities, shady business deals, and secrets that could destroy anyone connected to him. Daniel's hands clenched the folder. I knew my father had skeletons, but this is worse than I imagined. Emily's eyes darted over the images, her heart racing. Daniel, we can't let this ruin us. We need a plan and we need to act fast. The man's gaze softened, almost imperceptibly. I'm giving you a choice. Face it now or watch it unravel your life later. Decisions have a cost. Before either could respond, a distant sound, a splash, a sudden shout echoed across the water. Emily and Daniel exchanged a glance, the tension thickening. Danger wasn't just a possibility, it was inevitable. Daniel folded the papers, tucking them under his arm. We face it together, no matter what comes. The shadowed figure nodded once, then disappeared into the fog, leaving them alone on the creaking pier with the weight of secrets pressing down on them. The night sky seemed darker, the air colder, and their resolve firmer than ever. Emily gripped Daniel's hand. Whatever comes next, we face it side by side, always. Daniel nodded, always. As they left the pier, the sound of the waves echoed like a warning. Their journey into the tangled web of truth, danger, and family secrets had just begun, and there was no turning back. The morning sun filtered weakly through the blinds, casting pale lines across the apartment. Emily and Daniel sat side by side, the folder from the pier resting heavily on the coffee table between them. Neither spoke for a long moment, the weight of the secrets pressing down like a physical force. Daniel finally broke the silence. Emily, I need you to understand. My father, he's not just shady. There are people involved in his past, people who would go to any lengths to protect their secrets. And now we're in the middle of it. Emily swallowed hard, gripping his hand. Then we face it together. Whatever danger, whatever truths, we don't run anymore. Their resolve was interrupted by a sudden knock at the door. Both tensed. Daniel's hand hovered near the doorknob, wary. Peering through the peephole, he saw a young woman, mid-20s, anxious but determined, holding a small envelope. Who is that? Emily whispered. I don't know, but I have a feeling she's important, Daniel replied cautiously, opening the door. The woman handed him the envelope and quickly vanished into the hallway, leaving a faint scent of jasmine behind. Emily opened it. Inside were photographs, notes, and a small USB drive. The images showed Daniel's father meeting with unknown men, documents indicating dangerous deals, and one picture that made Emily's stomach churn. A photograph of Daniel, as a child, in the same room as the men, oblivious to what was happening. Daniel's jaw tightened. This is worse than I feared. My father's past isn't just about money or business. It's tied to people who don't hesitate to eliminate threats. Emily looked up at him, fear and determination mixing in her gaze. Then we need a plan. We can't let this ruin our lives or our future. They spent the day piecing together the evidence, analyzing the USB drive's contents, tracing phone numbers and connecting the dots. Every discovery brought new questions and new fears. But through it all, their bond grew stronger, two hearts entwined, facing a storm they hadn't asked for but could no longer avoid. As night fell, Daniel leaned back, exhaustion written across his face. Emily, I thought running from the wedding would protect you, but now I see, staying away doesn't protect anyone. Facing the truth does. Emily rested her head on his shoulder. Then we face it together, no matter what comes. But outside, shadows shifted in the city streets. Unknown eyes watched, waiting. Danger was closing in, and the choices they made tonight would set the course for everything that followed. Little did they know, the next step in uncovering Daniel's father's past would lead them into a confrontation more dangerous than anything they had imagined, and closer to the people who would stop at nothing to keep secrets buried. Night had fallen, and the city lights cast eerie shadows across the quiet streets. Emily and Daniel moved cautiously through the dimly lit alleyways, guided by the cryptic instructions on the envelope. Every step echoed like a warning, each sound a possible threat. This doesn't feel right, Emily whispered, clutching Daniel's arm. Whoever left this, they want something, or they want to scare us. Daniel nodded, his jaw tight. We can't ignore it. If this is tied to my father's past, we have to confront it, side by side. They reached an abandoned warehouse at the edge of the river, its windows shattered and walls streaked with graffiti. The door creaked ominously as Daniel pushed it open. Inside, shadows danced across the dusty floor. A single figure emerged from the darkness, tall, sharp-featured, and exuding authority. He held a small device in his hand, almost like a remote. "Daniel Carter," he said, his voice calm but icy. "I've been expecting you." Emily instinctively stepped behind Daniel, fear flashing in her eyes. "Who are you? What do you want?" The man smiled faintly. "Call me Mr. Black. Your father's past, it's complicated, and your curiosity has drawn you right into it. That USB you have, it's valuable, very valuable, but more importantly, it's dangerous in the wrong hands." Daniel clenched his fists. "We're not here to steal anything. We just want answers, and we won't be intimidated." Black's eyes flicked to Emily. "Answers come at a price, and not everyone walks away unscathed." A sudden noise, metal scraping against concrete, made Emily jump. Black's expression hardened. "You've seen the surface, but the deeper truth, that's what people die for, and some of those people are still watching." Daniel took a deep breath, gripping Emily's hand tightly. "We're not leaving until we know the truth. You want to scare us, threaten us. Fine, but love is stronger than fear, and I won't let anything happen to her." For a tense moment, silence filled the warehouse. Then Black tossed a sealed envelope toward them. "Open it carefully. Inside, you'll find a choice. Choose wisely or risk everything." Emily bent to pick up the envelope, her hands trembling. The city outside seemed far away, a world untouched by the danger they now faced. As she tore it open, Daniel leaned close, whispering, "Whatever it says, we face it together." Inside was a single note, typed neatly. "Expose the truth about your father, or someone you love will pay the price." Emily's heart pounded. Daniel's eyes burned with determination. They both realized this was no longer just about secrets. It was a test of courage, trust, and their love for each other. Outside the warehouse, shadows shifted. Eyes followed their every move. The first threat had arrived, but Emily and Daniel's fight had only just begun, and the choices they made tonight would determine whether their love could survive the storm of secrets closing in around them. The city streets were nearly empty, fog curling around streetlights like silent watchers. Emily and Daniel moved cautiously, the envelope's warning burning in their minds. Every shadow seemed alive, every echo a threat. "I can't shake the feeling someone is following us," Emily whispered, gripping Daniel's arm. "I know," he replied, scanning the darkness, "but we can't turn back now. The truth is waiting and we have to face it together." They reached the old dockyards, a maze of warehouses and rusted shipping containers. The sound of water lapping against the pilings mixed with distant footsteps, each one sharper than the last. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. This time a young man, mid-20s, wearing a hoodie, his face partially hidden. He held a small device, its faint blinking light reflecting off the water. "Daniel Carter," the man said, voice steady. "You were warned, your father's secrets, they're not just documents, they're dangerous." Emily stepped forward, protective. "What do you want from us?" The man's eyes flicked to the USB in Daniel's pocket. It's more than data. It's proof of crimes that could bring powerful people down. And people like me, we protect that proof by any means necessary." Daniel's jaw tightened. "We're not going to let anyone intimidate us. If this is about truth, then it stays alive." The man smirked. "Bold, but boldness can get people hurt." He pressed a button, and a low hum vibrated through the dock. From the shadows, two more figures appeared, closing in slowly. Emily's heart raced. "Daniel, what do we do?" He took a deep breath. "We run, we survive, and we expose the truth, no matter what it takes." They sprinted through the containers, their breaths heavy in the night air. Footsteps chased them relentlessly, echoing in the hollow metal corridors. Emily stumbled, nearly falling, but Daniel caught her, his grip firm. A sudden clang behind them. A steel crate had fallen, blocking the pursuers temporarily. Daniel seized the moment. "This way," he shouted, leading Emily toward the water's edge. The fog thickened, and the city lights faded behind them. Every instinct screamed danger, but the determination in their hearts burned brighter. They couldn't stop now, not when the first real test of courage and love had begun. Emily gasped, clutching his hand. "Daniel, if we make it through this, I swear, nothing will ever break us." Daniel nodded, eyes fierce in the dim light. Nothing, ever, we face it together. From the shadows, unseen eyes watched. The first threat was only the beginning. The night had revealed just a taste of the danger lurking around Daniel's father, and the real storm was yet to come. Emily and Daniel ducked behind a stack of rusted shipping containers, their breaths heavy, hearts pounding like drums in the night. The sound of footsteps and murmured voices echoed through the dockyards, mingling with the distant slap of waves against the pilings. "Daniel, they're closing in," Emily whispered, her hand gripping his tightly. He nodded, scanning the area. "I see them, but we can't let them stop us. Not now, not after everything." From the shadows, the young man in the hoodie reappeared, flanked by two more figures. This time, their faces were partially illuminated by the dim floodlights, revealing expressions devoid of mercy. "You shouldn't have come back," the hooded man said, voice cold and sharp. "Your curiosity is dangerous, and it's not just your life at stake anymore." Emily's stomach twisted. "What do you mean?" The man smirked, holding up a small device, a tracker synced to the USB drive Daniel carried. "Everything your father tried to hide, you're holding in your hands, and there are people who won't hesitate to take it from you. Or take you." Daniel stepped protectively in front of Emily. "We're not afraid. If the truth has to come out, we'll see it through, together." The man's eyes narrowed. "Bravery, foolish but admirable. I'll give you one chance. Surrender the evidence and maybe you walk away unscathed. Refuse." He let the threat hang in the air, cold as the fog. Emily's voice was steady now, though fear lingered. "We don't surrender. The truth matters more than our safety. We won't let your threats control us." A tense silence followed. Then suddenly, the sound of a metal door slamming echoed from a nearby warehouse. The three figures froze, exchanging glances. Something or someone was coming. Daniel whispered, "We move now." They sprinted toward a narrow alley between containers, the pursuers close behind. Emily's mind raced. Every step, every breath felt like a gamble. She glanced at Daniel, whose jaw was set, eyes blazing with determination. They turned a corner and stumbled upon a hidden staircase leading down into the darkness beneath the docks. Without hesitation, Daniel led Emily down the steps. The muffled sounds of pursuit faded above them, replaced by the damp smell of the underground tunnels. Emily leaned against the cold wall, trying to catch her breath. "Daniel, how did you know this place existed?" He smirked faintly, though tension etched his face. "I used to come here when I was a kid. A safe spot my father never found, or maybe he hoped I'd never need it." Emily's hand found his. "Whatever comes next, we face it together, no matter what." Daniel nodded, pulling her close. "Always, nothing will break us." Above them, the footsteps paused. Their pursuers weren't giving up. They were only regrouping. But in the darkness of the tunnels, Emily and Daniel had found their first advantage: the element of surprise. And with it, the courage to keep moving forward, deeper into the dangerous secrets of Daniel's father and the shadows closing in around them. The storm of their pasts and the threats of the present had only just begun to collide, and soon, every truth would demand a choice, one that could either destroy them or bind them closer than ever before. The underground tunnels were damp, the air thick with tension. Emily's heartbeat echoed in her ears, mixing with the distant drip of water and the faint shuffle of footsteps above. Daniel led the way cautiously, USB clutched tightly in his hand, their shadows stretching across the grimy walls. "Daniel, do you think they know we're down here?" Emily whispered, voice barely audible. He shook his head. "I don't know, but we can't wait to find out. We need answers, and we need them now." They reached a larger chamber beneath the docks, dimly lit by a single flickering light overhead. In the center, a figure awaited them, tall, imposing, and familiar from their previous encounters. The hooded man, flanked by two others. His eyes gleamed with anticipation, like a predator watching prey. "Ah, Daniel, Emily," the man said, voice smooth and chilling. "Welcome to the truth. You've chased shadows for long enough. It's time to see what lies in the light." Daniel stepped forward, protective. "We're not here to play games. Tell us what you want and why you've been following my father's past. What are you hiding?" The man's lips curled into a faint smile. "Hiding? No, revealing. Daniel, your father's legacy is darker than you think. Crimes buried, alliances forged in secrecy, and betrayals that have cost lives, including someone very close to you." Emily's breath caught. "What do you mean, who?" A silence stretched like a rope pulled tight. Then the man gestured to a small stack of files on a nearby table. Daniel hesitated, then lifted a folder. The contents made his face pale: photographs, financial records, even letters implicating his father in dealings that stretched back decades. Among them, a photograph of a child Emily didn't recognize, holding hands with a man she assumed was Daniel's father. The child's face blurred but unmistakably familiar. It was Daniel, as a boy, present in situations far darker than he had ever known. This is, Daniel whispered. Why didn't anyone tell me? Because some truths, the man said, voice low, are meant to protect. But now the past won't stay buried. And neither will your choices, Daniel. Every action has a consequence. Emily stepped closer, gripping his arm. We face it together, all of it. Whatever your father did, whatever danger this brings, we're not turning back. The man studied them for a long moment. Then, almost imperceptibly, his expression softened. Courage, rare in people your age. Very well. The ultimate truth is this. Expose your father's crimes or risk losing everything you love. And know this: trust in each other will be the only thing that keeps you alive. Suddenly, a distant crash echoed through the tunnels. The other two figures moved, blocking the exits. Emily squeezed Daniel's hand, fear and resolve intertwining. We can do this, she whispered. Daniel nodded, determination burning in his eyes. Together, nothing will break us. The hooded man stepped back into the shadows. Prove it, face the consequences. The choice and the danger are yours. As he disappeared, Emily and Daniel stood amidst the files, the weight of decades of secrets pressing down, knowing that the final confrontation, the truth, the reckoning, and their love would define everything that came next. No more hiding, no more running. The ultimate test was upon them. The tunnels felt suffocating, the air thick with anticipation. Emily and Daniel stood together, hearts pounding, surrounded by decades of secrets, files, photographs, letters, all pointing to a truth too heavy to ignore. This is it, Daniel whispered, gripping Emily's hand tightly. Everything comes down to this moment. Emily nodded, her own fear tempered by determination. We've faced every shadow, every danger. We can face this too. From the darkness, the hooded man and his two accomplices emerged once more, their faces stern, the weight of judgment in their eyes. You've made it this far, the man said, voice echoing off the tunnel walls. But courage alone isn't enough. You must choose, expose the truth, or protect what's left of your world by burying it forever. Daniel stepped forward, holding the USB. We can't hide from what's right. Whatever danger comes, the truth has to be known. My father's actions, the lies, the crimes, they can't continue. Not on my watch. And Emily, we face it together. Emily squeezed his hand, tears brimming. I'm with you always. With a deep breath, Daniel activated the USB drive, sending the files to trusted authorities he had contacted beforehand. Screens blinked to life, emails sent, documents uploaded. The past, hidden for so long, was finally out in the open. The hooded man studied them for a long moment, then surprisingly nodded. You chose wisely. Not everyone has that courage. Remember this, truth is powerful, but love is stronger. Outside, the first rays of dawn crept through the cracks of the tunnels, illuminating Emily and Daniel as they emerged into the light. The city was waking, unaware of the storm of secrets that had just been revealed. But for them, a new chapter had begun. Emily rested her head on Daniel's shoulder. We made it together. Nothing can break us now. Daniel kissed her forehead, his voice soft but certain. Nothing, ever. They walked away hand in hand, hearts heavy with the weight of truth, yet lighter with the promise of a future built on honesty, courage, and love. The shadows of the past had been faced, the dangers confronted, and the ultimate test survived. For Emily and Daniel, the day that began with a vanished groom had ended with a love stronger than ever and a story that would never be forgotten. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more thrilling, emotional tales like Vanished Vows, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the next story. Your support helps me bring more suspense, drama, and heart-pounding stories to life.